So the first thing we will do is prompt the user for the temperature input, and we will do so with the printf statement. The printf statement is in the stdio library, which we included at the top of the code. This hashtag include allows you to include the library which hold functions that can be used in your program. This library typically has a lot of functions, but for today, we will only need the printf functions and the scanf functions for our purpose. But before we do that, we typically want a few variables to store information in. So think about variables as buckets of memory you can allocate or reserve on your computer to use for your programming. In order to process information, you need to hold on to it, right? So yeah, for this problem, I have chosen to use two variables. And I chose them to be doubles because it allows for us to get the temperature values in decimal form. So we're going to make two variables, one for the temperature in Celsius and the other for the temperature in Fahrenheit. It doesn't matter what you call it, but typically make sure it makes sense and it doesn't contain any special characters or start with a number, because C does not like those formats and it will throw you a syntax error if you do so. After we have included what we will want the user to see, we need a way to receive that information. That is where our scanf function comes in. What this function does is receive input from the user from the keyboard and stores them in a variable. There are other functions such as the fscanf functions that can receive input from a file, and we will cover those in a future video. But for now, all we need is a normal scanf function. Okay, now we have the temperatures in Celsius stored in the temp variable. We now have to calculate the temperature in Fahrenheit, and we will do so with our handy equation that converts a given temperature to Fahrenheit. Notice how we set the solution to the answer variable. So what we are doing again is storing information into a space in memory that we can process later on. And the process will now just be to print out the temperature back out to the user in Fahrenheit. And that is it. So typically you would want to check for errors, whether in spelling or anything like that. Any syntax error, meaning that if you misspelled printf or scanf or even forgot to put a semicolon, usually the program doesn't run and an error is given. But I believe that our program is good and will be able to run successfully. So we are good.